This video will cover user instructional detail to properly prepare the SD-WAN demo environments in Demo Center to showcase zero-touch deployment demonstrations. When an environment is requested in Demo Center, the provision environment will come pre-configured with the In the Cloud demo option. However, this environment can simply be altered to also include the on-premises connectivity. This option enables connectivity of physical devices, which may reside in customer premises, to the Demo Center cloud environment, allowing for additional demo capability. Looking at this on-premise topology, the configuration will need to be updated to make use of the unique static public IP address provided in the environment details to allow on-premise devices to connect to the MCN in the cloud environment. There are some prerequisites. You will need some physical components, such as an SD-WAN device. The pre-staged configuration already outlines a 210 standard edition LTE site, as well as a 1100 standard edition site, which can be altered to use a different device if needed, and at least 2 internet WAN links, one of which is recommended to be a decent internet quality. Since the success of the demonstration is highly variable due to the conditions of the available internet WAN links, it is recommended to test the usability of the demo on site prior to any event to confirm the desired behavior. It's also recommended to have a backup recording of the demonstration in case the quality of the demo is not as desired with the on-site test results. Zooming in and focusing on the topology specific to the 1100 standard edition on-premise site, the pre-staged configuration will have this site configured as illustrated. The LAN is a flat/24 network with the gateway as WAN link 1. The 1100 standard edition will sit transparently in line to that gateway of 172.17.32.1, leveraging 1/1 and 1/2 hardware bypass interfaces. A virtual IP address of 172.17.32.2 will be used as the private IP address, which is expected to be NATed by WAN link 1 modem to a dynamic public IP address to initiate a WAN path to the MCN in the cloud network. WAN link 2 will be provided by a second modem with a gateway IP address of 172.17.33.1. This link will connect to the interface 1/3 of the SD-WAN device, where the SD-WAN will be configured with 172.17.33.2 as the virtual IP address for that link, which again is expected to be NATed by the WAN link 2 modem to a dynamic public IP address to initiate a WAN path to that MCN in the cloud network. Since the 1100 standard edition is expected to be in a factory default state, we will make use of the default fail-to-wire behavior of 1/1 and 1/2 interfaces to connect the management port of the device to the LAN network, which will then traverse the bypass bridge interfaces to obtain an IP address from the DHCP server functionality that's enabled on the WAN link 1 modem. The zero-touch workflow will then initiate installing the configuration license and activating the device. Some key points to understand are that once the SD-WAN device has its configuration and is activated, the bypass interfaces will no longer be initiated, meaning the management IP address of the device will no longer traverse the bypass initiated pair of the factory default device as it did before. With the SD-WAN loaded with its configuration and activated, the management IP is subject to the routing of the SD-WAN device, and if not configured accordingly, will fail to continue communication with the zero-touch deployment cloud service to fully complete the workflow. To work around this specifically, the configuration that is pre-staged has internet service enabled on the on-premise denoted sites. Also, dynamic NAT has been configured to allow LAN traffic, like the management IP of the device, out to the public internet. Now zooming into the topology specific to the 210 standard edition LTE on-premise site, the pre-staged configuration is almost identical, with the only differences being the unique subnets used for this site and the fact that this device has a built-in LTE modem, which can be leveraged as a third link and/or leveraged for zero-touch deployment. Demonstrating zero-touch deployment can leverage the management interface of this device exactly like we've outlined in the 1100 standard edition site. With the topology understood, let's quickly look at the configuration and make the required adjustments in the default config file in order to demonstrate zero-touch deployment to the on-premise SD-WAN devices for our specific site. Since the default environment leverages SD-WAN Center as the management tool, we can log in and start by navigating to the network configuration page and opening the default demo config file. In the Basics tab, the first thing we'll need to update is the DCVPX site's WAN link denoted as Internet2 to reflect a static public IP specific to our demo environment. That should be the only configuration change needed because the Internet service and dynamic NAT are already enabled for the respective on-premise sites. Before we push this update, let's point out that the 1100 Standard Edition site has that exact configuration in place. Under the Connections tab, we can see that the 1100 site has Internet service enabled for the available WAN links. Also, we can note that the firewall with dynamic NAT is going to allow outbound traffic to be dynamically NATed after the configuration is applied through Zero Touch. Again, this is required since the management IP address of the SD-WAN will be connected to the LAN network and will be subject to the SD-WAN routing after the configuration is applied. Equally important is that the firewall policies are in place to allow the communication through the onboard firewall. With that confirmed, we can proceed with saving the latest configuration and exporting this configuration to the master control node. With the configuration successfully exported to the MCN, we can choose to log into the web interface utilizing the public IP address provided in the environment details. Or for lower latency connectivity, we can leverage the Apache Guac interface to log into the AD1 VM as a local jump box. Within the AD1 VM, we can connect directly to the MCN utilizing the private IP address 172.30.200.150 and log in using the credentials provided in the environment details. We'll navigate to the change management page and begin the workflow. We can first validate that our updated configuration file is in the inbox, then upload the Release 11.0 software bundle, which contains specific components that are required when using physical devices. For your convenience, the software bundle has been made available on the AD1 jump box under the scripts PowerShell 1 Release 11.0 directory. Large files are generally recommended to be uploaded locally to the device to help avoid slow upload and potential chance of file corruption, which is what you may encounter if you leverage the public IP address to the MCN directly across the internet. We'll speed through the completion of the change management process. And after that is done, your environment is ready to demonstrate zero-touch deployment using a physical on-premise appliance. This covers user instructional detail to properly prepare the SD-WAN demo environment in Demo Center to showcase zero-touch deployment demonstrations.